Oh, well, of course, making money. Making money. Challenge. All day long. You know, I say that kind of tongue-in-cheek because when I worked in the U.S., I was in a very high-level executive role. I had a large team. I was very involved in their development and the plans for them. I made a lot of money. But at the end of the day, I missed birthdays. I missed holidays. I was not happy. And I was not this version of myself. So when it comes down to the initial challenges that I faced, a lot of them came down to self-doubt. And I don't think that this is uncommon for marginalized populations, women, people who haven't followed the straight and narrow course of, I have a 4-year degree, I'm totally capable. You question yourself more. And so when I think about initial challenges, they were actually what motivated me the most to make life changes. So that's what drove me to move to New York, was like, I feel stuck. I don't feel intellectually stimulated. The college I'm going to doesn't suit my intellectual needs, nor does it suit my best way of learning. And everyone has a different learning style. And this is something I want to emphasize so much to anyone who's questioning, like, am I a failure if I don't complete a 4-year degree? Absolutely not. There are so many amazing career paths for those who decide to take a gap year or decide to not fulfill. But my initial challenge was largely like struggling with the pressure that was placed upon me from a father who has a PhD and a mother who worked in education, and feeling this pressure that, like, oh, you're letting the family down. And I was like, you know what? It's my life. And that's when I moved to New York. I had less than $2,000 in my bank account in New York City. So I was like, all right, I'm probably going to be here for about 3 months before I either starve or I wind up like begging my parents to take me home. And I wound up living there for 5 years, and it changed my life. Putting myself through that amount of challenges that you face as you grow and as you experience new types of opportunities, as you talk to strangers, as you interact. New York did that for me. So I had a very comfortable executive career for almost 15 years. And what I realized when COVID hit was like, I hate this. I'm not happy. And I feel the same way I did when I decided to abandon everything and move to New York. And with the 12-year-old, he's now 12. He was 10 at the time. But we decided to do the same thing. So we sold our house. We sold our car. We put everything in, like a storage unit that was of any value. And we left. And that's why we're in Africa, because the number one thing I've learned is that life is short, life is fragile, and if you wait until retirement, which was what I was thinking, like, oh, of course I'm going to retire in Africa. That's my passion. That's where I want to be. But what COVID taught us was life is way too fragile for that. And why not just go now? And so I would say the challenges are what taught me to recognize when I'm being complacent and when I'm settling into a routine that isn't healthy, and when I'm not continuing with a growth mindset. Hence why we moved to Africa. Here we are.